the version of bits that comes with SQL Server 2008 R2. Using it with 2010 will not do. So make sure you use this this version. I mean, don't just open it from Visual Studio. You might face problems with that. So I'll be opening a new project. Integration Services project, and I'll call it racks. So choosing OK, this will create a new project for me. Okay, and so this is an empty package. Everything is empty. I'll be explaining more about this. But what I want to do is, remember the package we just saved? I want to add it to this project. So let me just go here, and the location is the file system. Okay, so this is the package that was created, and clicking OK will add it. Remember the password? This package is protected, so nobody can actually open it unless they know the password. So this is the package. It has been added. Again, I'm trying to make things simple, but maybe sometimes you should just sort the package within your SQL Server. Okay, since I'm ready, I'm not going to execute this. I'm going back to the slides, and I'm going to discuss some more things before I move on with the example. So packages. The file you've been seeing, the import package, that's a package. As it says here, a package is a unit, a collection of tasks, So when you have something like tasks are the steps that you're going to use. I'll be showing you that in a moment. Remember, it's an XML file. We tried saving it in the file system, but you can save it in SQL Server. That's much better. Just for a quick example, I tried the file system. Now, how do you execute the package? Well, you can execute the package either from the environment. Right now, the environment I'm choosing, I'm using right here, I can simply right-click and choose Execute. That's from within the bits, or from within bits. But I have other options. I can actually go to the agent inside SQL Server and create a job that executes a package. There's an option in SQL Server for that. Just know about it. It's pretty easy to do that. Also, you can do it from the command prompt by using the dt exec. Now, that's another option. Or you can use, an interface, a graphical interface, by this command, UI. Actually, if I went and just double-clicked on the package from outside, it will open the execute package utility. That's the other command, the second command. So I can execute it without opening the bits. That's what I'm trying to say. Now these are the three. There is another way, although it's undocumented. You can go from within SQL Server and use some store procedures for that, but it's undocumented, which means you shouldn't play with that unless you really know what you're doing. So mainly just consider these three are the most important things, or the main ways you can execute a package. Okay, so that's a package. As you can see here, I have two packages, so you can add multiple packages in a solution if you want. This is the package I just added. So what this package did, it just moved the table from Access to SQL Server. Right now, I can see here, this is pretty similar to Visual Studio, but at the same time, it's different. See, this is the toolbox, and I can see a lot of stuff here. But focus on this tab, named Control Flow. Now, Control Flow is the main part where you put your tasks. Remember what I said? Packages are a collection of tasks. So you put your tasks, and you start creating relationships between them. That's the point. So before I move more, I'll just get on with the stuff in the slide. So a task is a unit that you do a specific step with. So an example for a task in our case, was a T-SQL, or was something like move a table from somewhere to another, data flow task. We'll see that in a minute. But we have other kinds of things that we can do there. So going back again, so here we have tasks, many tasks. As you can see here, for example, there's the task called execute process task. In here you can, for example, call Notepad, the calculator, call any process, an execute file. You have many things. You can call actually other packages, SQL. There are a lot of things. There are even stuff that work with the .NET. I'm not going to discuss this right now, but for example, see this. I have web services stuff. So it's really, really flexible. You can do whatever you want here, especially if you know how to program. This is amazing. I mean, you just drag and drop and start configuring properties, and that's it. Now, there's, as you can see here, this is an example of a task. This is another task, and this is a constraint, which means you know, the result of a task can either be you know, failure, you know, it can either fail or success, you know, have successful state. So you can add other parts. I mean, you can add more constraints. An example would be like in this slide. This is a constraint. You see, this is an example of two tasks I'm having here, and this is a constraint. In case of success, please go to the next step. But there are other cases. So the red color is obviously for fail. So if you fail, for example, please go and do this. The blue color means complete. So in all cases, whether this has a success case or a failure case, it will always go also and execute this task. You can group your tasks together in a container. So this is an example of a container. You have many types of containers. So the main goal of containers is just to group logically. You want to do something for, you know, I mean, it's pretty simple for developers to imagine a for loop container. I think it's pretty obvious. You only need to know about it for the time being in that level. So we have three things: tasks, containers, and constraints. Okay. Now, there's one very important task, which is, I mean, actually the most important task. It's called the data flow task. Now, this data flow task is so important that, you know, in the beds, there's a specific or a designated tab just for it. Because data flow tasks can incorporate a lot of things. I mean, the main purpose is to make data flow from somewhere to the other. So if you even, I mean, if I try double-clicking here, for example, let's discuss this pretty simply. This is a preparation task. So there's some SQL that has to be executed before moving the data. If you try to imagine it, the task that should be done before is creating the table, because I know that the customer tables is not in SQL Server. So before moving data, I have to create the table. That's why we need the task. As you saw, when I double-clicked, I just had the editor, and I can configure it right here. While with the data flow task, if you double-click, it will actually take you to the second tab, the data flow, where you can have a whole lot different things to do. I mean, I have a complete toolbox just for the data flow. Remember, this is the most important thing about packages. It's to move data from somewhere to the next. So you have here, prepare a task, and then do this. What is exactly this? You can go to the details over here. Data flow task. See, I'm with one, data flow task 1. So this is moving data from a source to a destination. Source is obviously Access, and the destination is SQL Server. Again, you can see here I have three important parts. I mean, the sources, where you get the data from, the transformation, if you're planning on transforming data, changing the data, the format of the data, you should work with the controls over here, and the destination, the database that it's going, or the destination for your data, where is